Good morning, campers. We're just rolling along at Camp One Clap on the One Clap Speech and Debate podcast. I'm your camp director, Lyle Wiley, and today, on day 11 of camp, Counselor Ella Goodman and Counselor Zcherina Villegas are back to share part 2 of their 4-part series, Croc Hiking with Easy Platform. We'll be getting more oratory and info tips from our Croc-loving counselors, which is pretty exciting. Don't forget to check the One Clap socials for today's social media challenge topic, and also keep studying your ABCs of debate with Professor Graham and Kevin's new episodes, arguably the best content ever released on YouTube. Let's get the details about our Stars of Easy platform. I'm going to share Zcherina's bio this week with some noises in the background for a campy vibe, and Ella's in a later episode. Although this is her first time on One Clap, this will be Zcherina's 4th year competing in speech and debate at Cheyenne East High School. In her speech and debate career, she has done events like drama and LD, but considers original oratory to be home base. You will most likely catch Zcherina at camp raving about oratory in all its greatness. However, since she will be a senior this fall, she is hoping to branch out into other events to try something new, but don't expect her to stray too far from home. All right, campers, strap up your hiking Crocs, get your walking stick, put on some sunscreen, throw some trail mix in your pocket, the kind that's mostly M&Ms, and let's go Croc hiking with Easy Platform, Episode 2. Welcome back to Episode 2 of Croc Hiking with the Easy Platformers. We're here at Camp One Clap, and I've got Zcherina and Ella here with me today, and, I think we should explain the Croc hiking bit real quick before we talk about camp activities. What's with the Crocs? What's with the Crocs, you two?
So basically, at 2022 state in Riverton, I don't know, Zcherina and I were sick of having to tie our shoes, walk in our heels across the snow. It was not a fun time. So our team went to Walmart and we found these really cool pink Crocs, but they were all in giant sizes. But we got them anyway. They were way too big for our feet. But now they're we just wear them everywhere.
Yeah. So every single tournament, every time we're with each other, we have our Crocs and we just wear them when we're not competing. And then we even have matching suits too. So we'll have matching suits and then we'll have the matching Crocs. I'm just walking around listening to music, looking like crazy people. Yeah.
Perfect.
One good thing though about the bus for speech is that sitting next to the heater has helped the Crocs shrink a little bit, so they fit a little bit better. Because we're always next to the heater.
Yes, melted it's melted the plastic or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. The only problem with that is that for me at least, one of my Crocs is smaller than the other, so it looks kind of really weird, but it's okay. We're only using them as speech tournaments. It's okay.
All right. Well, the origin story of the Crocs, even better than I thought. So tell me about last time we talked about your favorite camp activity, but what's your least favorite camp activity?
Fishing. Or hunting, anything like that. I just don't like it. I don't know. I used to go fishing with my dad. And then I would get in the boat, and he would be swinging the fishing pole everywhere, and it would just get water in where I was sitting, and it would smell bad, and he would never even catch a fish. So it was not worth it. And so then when he would ask me to go hunting with him, I had to decline that offer. No.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. Not for everybody.
Yeah.
What about you, Zcherina?
I'm gonna be honest here. I've actually never been camping, where you go and you sleep. So because I don't know, I just can't handle sleeping and I'm not a nature girly, okay? I will enjoy nature, I'll bask in nature, I'll go hiking, but I can't sleep in it. I feel I need to have my shower, my nice comfortable bed. I can't do that. I'm sorry to all those campers out there, but I can't. This is kind of bad of me to say because this is the theme of One Clap this year, but I'm sorry, I had to say it.
It's okay. We take campers of all kinds. And this kind of camp you can enjoy in the comforts of your own home. So
I have not had much experience with camping. The only time I did, I've been in campers before, but the only time I camped in an actual tent I was with a bunch of my friends, and it was one of the people's birthdays, and we had like glow sticks and balloons in the tent, and we were messing around with them, and then somebody snapped a glow stick, and it got in my eye, and we had to go and rinse it out with water, and it hurt really bad.
Oh my gosh, I think we're like bringing up some trauma by making you talk about something. I apologize. Let's move on to talking about some platformer things. Before we get specifically to platform event tips and tricks, last week we learned about how big of nerds you both were, and 6.8 and 7, pretty solid nerds. But today we're going to find out how you blossomed into speech and debate superstars. So I want to hear your superhero speech and debate origin story. What got you into speech and debate? Why'd you stick around?
You can go first.
Okay. I initially wasn't like intending on joining speech. Like I was thinking about, I was like, maybe I should do speech, but I don't really know. I was kind of focusing on swimming at the time. And then this lovely lady, Oakley Simons, dragged me by my hand into the speech room, was like, do this, do drama. This is our coach. This is everyone else. Meet everyone. And I was like, okay. And then the next week I was in a tournament, and then I just haven't stopped. So
yeah, I mean, Oakley's got a powerful personality, so I would have a hard time saying no too. I get it. All right. So you were basically coerced and forced into the activity. Great. What about you, Ella? How did you get into this?
Well, I remember in like middle school, we were signing up for electives and stuff. And I saw like speech, and there was like, a bunch of different speech class options. And I was like, well, maybe I should do that, because I was like all throughout elementary school and junior high school, I was a super shy person. I did not, really talk to anyone that wasn't my friend. I just got really nervous when we had to do any kind of presentations in class. And so I thought that it would be good for me to kind of like push myself, explore public speaking. So I took the class, I got into it. Finally like introduced all the events to us, and I was terrified. So I was like, what event will I have the most people with me to help me? And then this guy named William Wayne Ward told me that I better do Congress, because everyone will be, supporting me, whatever. I tried Congress. I really didn't like it. So I quit. And he thought I was competing in Congress for like 3 months. He would print out dockets, waste so much paper, give them to me when I wasn't even in it. I felt so bad. So then I was like, okay, let's do another partner event. So I did PF. My partner for the novice workshop was Patrick Coggin. We did one round. His iPad died in the middle of the final focus, and he ran over to my laptop. And while he was like doing his final focus on my iPad, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I quit PF and I went to info, and I've just like stuck with it since.
Nice. And you're both going to be seniors this year. Oof. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Scary.
But it's going to be a great year. I know it. So I would like to get some more tips and tricks or helpful ideas for info and original oratory. We'll start with info today. So Ella, you're going to get to go first. Do you have one helpful info tip or trick that you'd like to share today?
Yes. So I think that language is obviously really important in speech, but I think how you use it in info is a really important thing. I think in my speeches, I like to use a lot of figurative language. I think it can keep the audience like engaged and entertained. It makes just like what you're saying more memorable. And I also think that it's a really good way to explain like complex topics to people by making like comparisons, similes, and metaphors. I also really like alliteration, so I try to do a lot of that. But I think with language, like how you structure your sentences is also really important. I think having like unique structured sentences and not just doing the same thing over and over again can add more variety and make it feel a lot less repetitive. It's just like a little bit easier to listen to. And then also with language, I think in info people like want to sound smart, obviously. And so they use like a lot of big words. But I don't think that you should use any or don't use a lot of words that you wouldn't actually say in real life. I mean, sometimes people say stuff I don't even know what it means. So I need to keep my words a little bit more simple. But, if somebody has like a bigger vocabulary, then they should use that. But I think it just helps to use words that you would actually like say in real life to keep it more genuine and less awkward.
That's some really good advice. Yeah, how you use your words is always really important. As a judge, it is kind of frustrating too to get a whole lot of like $10 words thrown at you. Well, I mean, what if I don't understand? I mean, that's not great. Yeah. And you got to be careful about assuming what people know and don't know. So that's some good stuff. Absolutely. And I love alliteration too. So keep it coming. Let's move on to you, Zcherina. Do you have any delicious original oratory ideas that you'd like to give the world?
I kind of have something similar to Ella, but just a little bit different. Kind of like info and oratory. But anyway, so basically, my big thing is for word choice and language. And so a really important thing with that is to have like attention grabbers. And for that, you could have like humor or lines to remember, or bumper sticker lines, as one would call them. So for humor, like I remember this person on our team started singing Man in the Mirror really loudly in their intro. It was just like this huge thing that everyone loved to listen to every single round. Like you would know when it was this person speaking in the room next to you, because someone would just be in like such deep thought, like such like they would be saying such smart words, and then in the next room you hear them screaming at the top of their lungs, and it was just the funniest thing ever. And you know, humor is just used to like lighten the mood, you know, especially in oratory. You're talking about some really deep and really like complex issues, so having that humor implemented can just help lighten the mood, you know, keep the audience engaged in what you're saying. And like when you're talking about serious stuff, there needs to be some moments of levity in order for the audience to stay engaged and really listen and hear what you're saying, you know? And then along with that are lines to remember. Other than humor, you like following a piece of humor, you could have like some go into some super serious stuff. And like these lines to remember can just be used to like emphasize your point or end a paragraph, really have the audience thinking about what you're saying and like processing it, like using things like alliteration, like Ella was saying, can help the audience really remember your speech or like help you stand out from other people in the room. And it can be done with like word structure, and then you just have to really make sure it sounds like you know? Just keep that word choice and language in mind when you're doing oratory.
Some good advice. Did you two coordinate? Because these pieces of advice, they fit nicely together.
Well, it's just 156.
Yeah, not really, but because we do like oratory and info, they're kind of like sister events, you know? So they go hand in hand. I mean, if you do one, you also help with the other. And one just has opinion and one doesn't. Or VAs.
Do you two ever argue about which event is better or more important?
No, I don't think so. Because I think oratory is my second favorite event.
Yeah.
So
I also agree. Well, no. Oratory is not my second favorite event. But like info would be my second favorite event. Just because the similarities.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. We're both drawn to the events for a reason. And just different reasons that we are in the events that we are in.
Awesome. I think maybe we should just find out what it is that you love about your event so much. Why do you like info so much, Ella?
I think, well, first of all, you know, you get to tell people about something that you think is really important, obviously, but you kind of have to convince them that it's important without like being persuasive, which I really like that. It's kind of a challenging aspect of it, presenting your information in an unbiased way, but also sneakily being a little bit biased. And, you know, you don't want to tell people to think a certain thing, but you can like strongly suggest that they might want to think a certain thing. And I just kind of like that aspect of it. It's like informative, but you have to find a way to like kind of add your opinion in there in a discreet way. So I just like that challenging aspect of it.
Cool. What do you especially like about oratory, Zcherina?
Well, if anyone knows me personally, they know that I have the loudest opinions ever. Like, I am not afraid to speak up for like what I think. And that is what I love about oratory. I love the fact that I get to speak about my own opinion and people have to listen to me. and just talking about like super big societal issues that'll make people like ponder and be like, wow, that's so deep, you know? I just love, like, even listening to people talk about things that I, like, issues that I have never even heard about, or things that I could change in my own life. Like, I always leave an oratory around being like, wow, I could really implement that in my life, or like, that is so cool. I never learned that before, you know? But yeah, that's what I love about oratory.
Yeah, the platform events really are pretty marvelous. They're pretty great.
It's also nice because nobody can interrupt you.
That's true.
So
It's true. You have a captive audience. They have to listen to you. They can't interrupt you. It's pretty great. Well, there you have it. We have some great tips and some thoughts about oratory and informative. And next time we'll learn about what you think is the best part of speech and debate. And we'll get some more tips about how to pitch your perfect platformer tent. Thank you so much to camp counselors Ella Goodman and Zcherina Villegas of Easy Platform for sharing some platform hacks of brilliance with us on a croc hike here at Camp One Clap. They'll return for more croc hiking in episode 3 next Friday. Tomorrow's yet another exciting day at Camp One Clap. We'll be at the campfire whipping up some Saturday supplemental s'mores with Counselor Clara Losmore. Also, Professor Graham and Kevin's ABCs of Debate shall continue to entertain, exasperate, and educate with yet another breathtaking episode. Remember, social media challenges are live for every day of camp this August. I love seeing everyone's posts. It's super cool to hear from all of you out there. And stop me if you've heard this one. A bear walks into a restaurant, sits down next to a man, and says, "Hello, I'm Barry the Bear." The man asks, "Why the big paws?" The bear says, "I'm not sure. I was born with them." For Camp One Clap, this is Camp Director Wiley, signing off.